Good morning, guys. So I thought today, well, we had a suggestion on our last video that, well, how come you don't do much for store tours? You probably see me out and around buying stuff all the time, and I know in a couple cases people have said, well, I see you buying a lot, but how do you sell, or how does a person buy from your store? So today I thought I'd do a little bit of a store tour and talk about how you can actually buy from us. And as you're logging on, definitely make sure to say hi. I am, this is live. If you're watching this later on, you can view some of the comments so you'll know I'm not just crazy and talking to myself too. So we're gonna start at the front of the shop here, and I'm gonna kind of work my way through. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you what we've been working on. So if you saw the video that I did when we went to Saskatchewan and bought the old antique store, this is one of the big old cabinets that I picked up. It was the old 100-year-old general store cabinet, and that would qualify as an antique because it's got to be 100 years old. My friend Josh came in yesterday and got this all working. So the goal now is to basically fill every drawer with treasure. So we've got Jello coins and we've got little figurines. So every drawer is going to get filled up. We're going to put a little card in there and hopefully make it nice and easy for people to come through. So as you walk in the front of my store, I'm going to kind of put my back to our door here. And we're closed right now because if I was open, well, I'd have customers in here. So when you first walk in, you see that we have motorcycles and all kinds of advertising and different things. And we go up about a story and a half in the front entranceway here. So I've got some neon signs. There's the billiard sign that I pulled out of the field. I don't know if you saw that one. Actually, my dad was on that trip. So it was kind of a good memory for me with my dad. We went out and found that sign sitting in a field, and I got it fixed up and it turned out pretty good. So all sorts of stuff at the front. And hi guys, as you're logging on. So we are of course an actual store, so as you see things that we buy on these videos, everything's for sale. So you can just either message us through YouTube or other avenues. Facebook is a really good one, or Instagram. So in this case, we found all these little books. I don't know if you remember in that antique store that we bought out. My son was loading up a box full of all these little novels. The little, I think they're called little books is what they are. So lots of neat stuff. Catalan radios, that's Catalan's, of course, an early form of plastic. We love Catalan radios. I've only got a couple in stock right now, but they are probably one of the more collectible radios. So we're gonna just kind of pan through, and as I put stuff out of the shop, we try and do little themes. So we have a lot of indigenous artifacts. The mermaid kind of fit in here nice. That's the mermaid that I got when I was in Halifax a few weeks ago with my family. She's, I don't know, about 4 feet long or so, 3-4 feet long, probably off a ship or something. Am I gonna sell t-shirts, caps, etc.? I don't know, I hadn't thought about that. If I did, it would have to be something cool and retro, so maybe we'll look into that. Maybe once I hit 30,000 subscribers, we'll offer up some specialty hats and t-shirts and stuff. We'll try and make them cool. And hi from Arizona, thanks so much guys. Hoodies perhaps, yeah, there you go. This is the little goat cart that I picked up last week. It's sitting nicely on top of my counter here. I've had this tiger sitting up here. This is an old carousel tiger that came from a fair, probably 1940s or so, and sadly that is selling today. I'm gonna miss it because we really like it. I like having it around, but one of our viewers, Carrie, if you're watching, which you might be, he's gonna come and pick that up today, so we're gonna miss that little tiger, but that just means I'll have room to put some other cool stuff on top of this cabinet. Let's see, I'm gonna pan around here. Yeah, my buddy Josh is also an artist. He's the guy that we did a studio tour at his place once. I'm going to open up the cabinet. But he does these really cool kind of hand-carved skulls. That's wood. He called that Goliath. So he's a talented guy, does some really neat stuff. He also helps me fix things around here every once in a while too. I'll show you some of his paintings later on. So we do have some local artists that put things in, little welded sculptures and things like that. Lots of books. I recently came across a bunch of really interesting books. We got old hot rod magazines, and we usually sell this stuff for like $5 each. And by the way, when you see, you can see our prices there, like old tractor manuals and stuff, these prices are in Canadian, so there's a pretty big difference. You know, hi Mike from Iowa. There's a pretty big difference in price between Canadian and US right now. So if you see our stuff, you probably get a pretty good savings with our dollar being so low right now. old recruitment posters. This is sort of a little display I was putting together yesterday. I bought this, and it's a shame I couldn't do a video inside the guy's house. You should see the amazing places I usually go, and I sometimes can't do videos. This is what they call a barrister's bookcase, and it's a nice one because it's got the filing cabinet on the bottom, and all these little cabinets are all separate, so you can actually take them off section by section. This piece here, we're loading up with antique books and some ornaments and stuff, so that's a work in progress. The old 40s mannequin wearing a flapper dress. So we have all sorts of oddball stuff, like this giant, actually had an artist in Las Vegas make this for me. It's all metal. It's a 1/3 scale Model T race car. It's cool, it actually has a little engine inside of it too. So some pretty neat stuff. I've got airplanes hanging from the roof, pictures all over. I will ship anywhere. Daniel's asking, I ship everywhere. I shipped a slot machine to London. I just shipped a coin-operated vending machine to New York yesterday. We will ship anywhere. So we do carry records as well. And if you were in our shop, you'd see this old Coke machine here, which we actually do sell Coke out of. Icy cold. We still get the little bottles, and then that's where you put the empties down there, just like it was. So we do have a few little things for people to do when they're here. There's my canoe chandelier that I built. I think I did a little episode of me converting that thing. It's probably just a short little one, but it was fun. It's definitely never going to get in the water again anytime soon, so I figured to make it better light. Oh, I have to show you guys something cool. Well, this we have some neat artifacts in here. This piece I picked up a while ago. That used to be an Enfield rifle from World War I, but it was taken by Inuit people and converted into a trap. So they would spike that big spike into the tundra, into the snow, and have a trip line. And so when the animal they were hunting would walk by, it would shoot this rasp, basically fire that rasp off, which is sharpened into a point. And just really early, interesting piece. So sometimes there's Canadiana that, you know, it's necessity is a mother of invention. So things like that I really enjoy because it shows history and shows ingenuity. Hey, Wayne, you must have just, Wayne's saying he just watched the other video. Yeah, we were at a museum buying some military antiques. It's a real working cannon. It's a 70 caliber ball that thing shoots out. But I don't think you'd be robbing a bank with that. It's black powder. If you were wheeling that into a bank somewhere, I think they'd probably start to get suspicious. It'd be the most hilarious bank robbery ever. These I just got back from the framing shop, so let me show you. You probably saw the video I posted this morning. If you haven't yet, check it out. I go to a museum and they've got all kinds of cool military posters and antiques and stuff. I took a couple in to get framed, so I'm actually just going to open this here and see what it looks like, if you guys are up for it. Let's see. As the crinkling of paper. And these videos are reversed, so if the letters on the bottom show up backwards for you, that's normal. YouTube does that for live videos. But it says, our export trade is vital, buy victory bonds. And I just love that image of the lady with the ship. So we had this framed, and whenever I frame an old picture, I like to try and find a frame that suits it, something like they would have done back at that time, not a modern metal frame. I don't really like metal frames on antique pictures, so we tried to find something wood that, you know, spoke to it, and then you pick the complementary mats to kind of pull the colors out of the image. Cool piece though. And there's another one down here too. This is before I open up that one, you can see there's the pepper box, Dragoon pepper box that I got from Halifax, and we got some military items, a couple Civil War era, well, one Civil War era pistol and another one. And I did get, oh, actually, yeah, the video I posted this morning, there is the reflection's awful on this, but that is inside the showcase here is the POW made bomb. So let's have a look at this other one. This was kind of a cool one. The Army train. So again, if it's backwards, I apologize. I can't really help that. But it says that, I'll read it so it's not so confusing. It says the Army train, see Canada's fighting soldiers and their battle equipment. What I like about it is that it says where it was. So April 25th, 1942, Fernie, British Columbia. And they changed the time from 5 p.m. to 1 p.m. They probably said, oh, we've got places to be. There's a war going on. We can't just sit around and have an event. But they, you know, how fantastic is that? The motorcycle chasing the train. Somebody's asking about old coins. I don't usually deal much in old coins, so when I get them, I have a few guys that I can liquidate them to, but we were able to sell most of the ones we had that came in last time as a bulk. I had a lot of silver. These are cabinets, actually. If you remember, so the video I went to Saskatchewan with my son, we pulled these cabinets out, and that store was really, well, that store had been sitting empty for a long time. Well, not empty, it was completely full, as you saw, but nobody had been in it. So these cabinets were so gross. But I cleaned them all up, and I put lights in them, and now they're working. So we have kind of our shaving apparatus. So I've got a Gillette Fat Boy there, which adjustable, really good razor. Lots of other little razors and stuff. So we do our shaving in the top here and the bottom. I've got it laid out with all kinds of tobacco tins and novelty smoking gear, and a lot of this stuff did come out of that abandoned antique store that I bought. Yes, to answer your question, men's shaving does sell well. Somebody's asking. That stuff does sell really well. In fact, I shave with an antique razor myself. Well, antique as in it's 1950s. It's not really antique until it's 100 years old, but yeah, they sell great. So, sports cards. You probably saw that I was going through that antique store and there's a bunch of sports cards. Well, here is a variety of them. Lots of early hockey, rookie cards. Everything that says a rookie card on it, you know, we've got some really early Hall of Famers. Lots of football, and of course the early baseball cards. There was no Honus Wagner in there. Those cards are from the same set, but there was no, I'm not going to be retiring anytime soon. And most of those are probably like in the $100 to $200 kind of range Canadian, and our dollar is, like I said, pretty poor to the US right now, so you get, like, I think about a 35% savings off of our dollar. I've got a couple of these things too. This is what they call a Dale gun. This isn't my nicer one. I'll show you the nicer one in a sec, but this is one of the first coin operated shooting gallery games. Pretty neat piece. And I'm just gonna pan around, since you guys really don't, I probably don't do much at the shop, and I should. So I've got everything from, you know, candlestick phones. This is the old Kodak display that I got out of the abandoned antique store. I cleaned up really nice. I put it back together. Michael's asking if I have the Saskatchewan bus stop sign. Michael, I never actually bought that sign because it was just too much money. He wanted 900 Canadian for it and wasn't really willing to budge. And in my mind, that was much more than that thing was worth. That was from a video, I think about last week. This is pretty cool. Hang on, I'm gonna pan around. Well, not the mannequin, but this is a panoramic camera. Hey Bob, let's see, some of our local customers are logging on. The panoramic camera is the one, if you ever see those yard-long pictures that, you know, really big, like military, or sometimes they'll do, actually I have one sitting here. I'll come around so you can see. The longer pictures, this is actually of a coyote hunt locally here, about 100 years old. They needed a special camera to basically get these long pictures, and I was able to find the panoramic camera when I was on Vancouver Island a couple weeks ago from our new friends Andrew and Amber out there. So that is here in the shop, and this would swivel, and those guys would have to sit still a really long time, otherwise their images would get blurry. And a little store display guy, probably 1950s. Looks kind of creepy. He actually, his head and eyes move, and this flashes and takes a picture. If you see, I post a picture of him working on Instagram, but it's just a cool little guy. We don't do a lot in dishes. And hi guys, as you're logging on too. We don't do a lot in dishes, but we do have a few kind of, you know, some nicer plates and things like that. We just have a little showcase. This is like the one area where I have girl stuff in my whole store. I'll have to maybe work on that a little bit, but yeah, as you can see, we definitely have the store jam-packed full. We keep automotive, military in one area, little advertising tins and cans in another. We have some automotive stuff, lots of maps, matches, and then we keep some toys, lots of old toys in stock. This is a pretty neat piece, actually. I don't know if you can tell from the size of my hand. This is huge. This is a salesman sample Princecraft fiberglass boat. Something really neat. We love to get stuff in that you just don't see too often. I would say that would be in that kind of category. They would have had these in the dealerships to show people what the new fiberglass model was. And well, Princecraft never really made boats for that long. So kind of a rare piece. Ratfink, you know, I don't have any Ratfink items. Somebody's asking over and over, do you have Ratfink? I have had, I don't have any right now. some brass headlights. With this trailer here, my friend Kelly made it. You've seen Kelly on some of the videos with me. We go to scrap yards and stuff. Kelly made this from scratch. What a talented guy. Built this all, replicated the teeny trailer decal right down, and it works even with the little rollers and everything. So he built this beautiful trailer for that with pneumatic tires. You can see I got a flat right now. I got to fix the valve stem and get some air in there. And yeah, you know, even like that's a G.I. Joe life jacket, but it's actually the right size. But look at the detail in these salesman samples. You know, they wanted people to be inspired to buy, you know, there's even a fish in the bucket. That's pretty cool. So you can see from, yes, somebody's asking Roman era coins. Yes, we do have ancient coins in stock. There's a whole bunch of Coleman lanterns and signs and light bulbs and toy cars and stuff. I got creative one day and I built this door. That's just our bathroom door, but I wanted to look like it was part of a steamship or something. So we put all these little rivets all around it to look like it was a steel, like a vault or a steamship. Anyway, it's what I do when I have free time, apparently. Show the license plates in the case. Okay, Keith, just for you, I'm going to slowly back up, and I'm trying to pan slowly so I don't make everybody seasick at home. And we're going to go back. Okay, so I have, this is where I keep mainly my porcelain license plates or my plate toppers. So I've got California, I think there's New Hampshire back there. That's the very first Ontario license plate, 1911. Manitoba, 1917. There's a Connecticut back there. There's a few US ones, all porcelain. And we get into some plate toppers too. So these would have been like either car club badges or things that they advertised on top of the plates. Like, look at that one there. New Mosselli's Ballroom on the Charles, known the world over. Nice little ballroom dancing one. And then up at the top, there's John Deere. Buckland Canvas, Buckland Tractor and Implement Company. And I always say porcelain when we talk about a porcelain plate. I know there's a big debate about whether they're called enamel or porcelain. Here we call them porcelain. If you Google, they are known as porcelain as well. But essentially they're baked enamel glass. Any cookware? Sometimes. Not a whole lot of cookware right now. The Star Wars dolls, these are the 12-inch ones. So Stormtroopers original, Boba Fett's a custom paint job. Some guy at a Comic-Con made that Boba Fett there. It's all custom painted. I guess he was a pretty professional guy. So yeah, there's stuff. If you come in my store, if you ever have an opportunity, it's pretty darn packed. We're not a huge store, you know, we're like about 2,000 square feet maybe, but we have stuff literally everywhere. You have to look because, you know, everything from little airplane ashtrays, little hats, you know, from stores. Oh, there's the other Dale gun that we have. And somebody's asking what we wanted for the salesman boat with trailer. That's $2,500 Canadian for that little boat. Because of its rarity and the condition, it's in fantastic shape. But if you know salesman sample stuff, you know that's actually a pretty fair price for it. So we are going to take a little trip upstairs now. Yes, there's some Orange Crush stuff. There's another motorcycle. This was a neat piece that I got. I don't know if I showed you that. Well, there's the airplane ashtray. These are made by Metalcraft in Canada. And then there's a little sundae display. I like this because you can actually see the all the different prices there. Chocolate sundae, 25 cents, and you can see they've changed it. It was 15 cents at one point. The other thing that I had in the store that shows you kind of what how the values have changed. This recruitment poster, probably World War I. So I don't know if you can see that. It says recruits wanted men from 19 to 45 years old, but it shows what they made. $1.30 per day with board, lodging, clothing, medical, dental, extra rates varying from 25 to 75 cents. $1.30 a day. Wow. Lady Gray's asking where are we located. We are located in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is north of Montana by about 4 hours. We are a city of about 1 million and some odd people. There's some normal people here, but there's some odd ones too. Trust me, I'm one of them. But we're located in Edmonton. These are all the Aladdin oil lamps that I got in from that last haul. So I tried to keep basically just all the fancy ones. Regular oil lamps don't sell that great, but Aladdin lamps sell pretty good. Nice old pay slot machine, advertising clocks, John Deere. It's funny, I had one of these, Yeah, the manure spreaders. Somebody said, oh, the manure spreader is the only thing that John Deere salesman wouldn't stand behind because he wouldn't want manure all over himself. It was funny. Oh, and Spain, a lot of people from all over the world logging on today. That's fantastic. So I'm going to go upstairs here. This is a really early bicycle I got out of a barn last year. The guy that had the mountain howitzer in his barn, don't ask me what, people just have crazy things. I was at a guy's place the other day and he had a P-39 fighter jet from World War II. Not the thing you're used to seeing. This bicycle, however, was made for a very early Harley-Davidson dealership around 1900 to 1905, wood-rimmed. Joe Hall in San Francisco is where that one's from. Everybody's asking about t-shirts with my logo on them. You know what, maybe I'll just get some made up, I guess, if there's demand for it. I'm just a guy with a shop, but if you want to have a t-shirt with our Curiosity Inc. on it, I will. If the people ask, I will deliver. So maybe look for that to, when we hit 30,000 subscribers, I will get some t-shirts printed up and stuff, a short run. So upstairs, we try and keep some stuff in for the kids. We are a family shop after all, so we put some stuff upstairs that if, you know, kids come in and there's a parent that's not interested in looking at the antiques downstairs, which isn't usually the case, but we have a few little knickknacks for kids up here. You know, some retro kind of toys and stuff that they can really come and play with. We don't ever want people to think that their families aren't welcome. We want people to think that this is a family place and they can really just enjoy what we have at the shop. Big wheel with box too. Remember those? That's the first one. That's from the 70s with the original box. So some G.I. Joe and stuff over there. Crazy old medical light. And just little odds and my kids help me sort through all these little Beanie Babies. Not that, you know, they're not super collectible. They're $5 each, Canadian. Cree healing chair. This is a piece that should really be in a museum. I kind of highlighted this before. We've had it about since we opened, but what an amazing piece of history. And I have this thing sitting in my store. Some museum watching, you should pick this thing up. It's Cree late 1800s with the original buffalo horn talisman. Just a fantastic piece. And of course we get the odd, you know, guitar, records, music. This is kind of like our music department upstairs too. And some old radios up top and things like that. So we keep ourselves pretty busy around here. Oh, and I promised earlier I'd show some of Josh's artwork. So Josh is the fellow who helped me fix my cabinet. He painted these with his fingers. Those are finger painted, and those are chiefs. He's Ermineskin Cree, so those are distant relatives of his. So pretty cool. Somebody says their big wheel was stolen on the first day because they left it at the curb during lunch. Well, I don't know where this one came from. Hopefully it's not your stolen mystery big wheel. I'm gonna flip the camera back around now. Hey guys. So if you ever find yourself in Edmonton, please stop in. We're always happy to see new people through, but the big thing to remember is when we do these videos, we sell stuff everywhere. So if you watch me buy something in a video, I've had a lot of people say, well, we see you buy stuff, we don't see you sell. Well, that's because the stuff kind of sells all throughout the week. Sometimes it sells on my way home from the pick. So if I'm really smart about my business, I can actually just phone people on my contact list, and a lot of times the stuff is gone within 24 hours. But we are, if you ever watch a video and you want to write me and ask if it's for sale, a lot of this, well, all of this stuff is for sale. We basically, that's our whole business, is just moving stuff out the door. So you can email me, curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. That's our business email. You can write me through Facebook as well. And if you haven't joined us on Facebook, that's where I list stuff for sale, really. We have a website, which we were going to do the online store there, but I haven't had the time or the energy to go through because stuff sells really quickly. So you can also go on Facebook or Instagram and see our stuff for sale too. Moccasins I still have. The big wheel upstairs is $165 Canadian with the box, so that's pretty fair. Somebody's asking if we have comics as well. Yes, we do have comic books. I'm still going through a bunch that I have, but they're like, you know, early Superman, and I had a crazy deal on comics last year. I traded a motorcycle for a stack of comics, and that might sound nuts, but it was the first 100 Spider-Man comics, so it's like first appearance of everybody. So we do crazy trades and stuff too, but all those sold in a big hurry. So lots of neat stuff in the store. I wish maybe one of these days I'll put a note on the door and say, you know, enter at your own risk, we're filming, and I'll kind of film what a day in the life of the business is. So basically my routine every morning is I start my day about 8 a.m. I take stuff, excess things to auction. I hate having clutter around. You wouldn't know it looking at my store, but I hate clutter. So take the excess stuff to auction, come to the store, get ready, clean, sort, put stuff away, sell some things during the day, and try and have you know, a fun day. And Linda, you've asked I think 4 times about the moccasins, so I'm gonna just walk this way because I think I have some moccasins in my. I believe that there's some inside of this trunk here. I had a gentleman come in and he had his family members had left him with some beaded gloves and moccasins and things. So I have a lot of this stuff basically sitting here that I haven't even priced yet. But the beadwork is phenomenal. These would probably be like, you know, 1940s or 50s era. Some might be a little bit earlier. Like this could even be as going back as early as 30s or 40s. But we do have a lot of indigenous artifacts. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can definitely keep us in mind there too. What is the car above? We covered that one earlier. That's a Model T race car I had specially built for the shop, so it's pretty neat. Ever see black powder cannon full half? Yeah, we do have a black powder cannon in stock right now. If you rewind, Roger, to the beginning of this video, you'll see we kind of talked about it a little bit. I have a 70 caliber one in stock right now. So pretty much everything you can imagine. We don't want to be just a normal antique store, so when people ask me, what do you buy? I always look for the weirdest, most unusual stuff that hopefully a person hasn't seen every day. So we're always trying to find unusual different things so that when people walk in, they're kind of wowed or floored by the variety. So I will definitely look at making up some shirts. Somebody's asking right now, Coleman lanterns. Yeah, I've got, I don't know, 15 or 20 hanging on the wall back there. There's a whole bunch of them. So stay tuned for more episodes. This weekend I'm going back to Vancouver Island and I'm going to do an update. If you recall a couple videos ago, I found a whole bunch of really unique artwork, including Group of 7. If you didn't know who they were before, you'll probably know after you watch that video. So we are meeting with an art gallery on Monday, and I'm taking my mom with me. Just as part of our healing process, I want to have my mom. We're going to do a little family trip out to the island. So look for a update video coming soon, which I'll probably post after the weekend. That's why I posted these today. So it's going to be a fun trip. It's going to be a great time. And I'm so glad that you guys have stuck with us and that you watch these. We get old money, yes. Somebody's asking if that's the RCA dog. No, that's more like a lassie. That's like a big, I don't know if you can tell how big this thing is. It's actually quite large. It's a chalkware ceramic collie. Steam engines, all this stuff, yeah. If you can imagine, if it's odd and it's cool, we'll probably get it or have it at some point. So make sure to check us out on Facebook if you haven't already. We get a lot of different things in, and we will certainly do our very best to answer and get back to you. So if you see anything in these videos that you're interested in, you can email me after the video is done here. But very much looking forward to some more videos and some adventures ahead. So stay with us. Subscribe if you haven't already. That way you'll get notifications when our videos pop up. But again, very nice to see everybody. We're pressing on here and doing well. And we really appreciate you guys watching. So have a fantastic day. And we'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.